Ticats 3-15 last year, another miserable one for the home side. The Montreal Alouettes 8-10. So here we go. An all-star last year, Nicholas Seta, getting ready to kick off the 2008 season. Game on, season on. We are underway in Steeltown. Former Ticat Jason Armstead avoids one tackle and is finally pushed out of bounds. He is a factor. They have not had a kick returner like a Jason Armstead since probably Ezra Landry a couple of years ago. So the Montreal Alouettes will go to work, and Anthony Calvillo is back at the helm.
Yeah, the great veteran. You heard the guys on the panel talking about AC. Very close to becoming the CFL's second leading passer of all time. A fantastic career. The last couple of years he's struggled. Under Mark Trestman, he's excited about having some fresh new thinking in this offense, looking to exploit some of those ideas.
Anthony Calvillo without Ben Cahoon, without Elijah Thurman, without Jarrett Payton. So Calvillo could put his name in the history books again tonight. Sandwich himself between Danny McManus, who's currently #2, and Damon Allen, who's #1 all time. Shotgun formation for AC. Quick hitter right there. And speaking of hits, Joaquin Bradley with a wicked shot.
It's so often said that you want to take the ball at the start of a game when you want to deliver a message. The Hamilton Tiger Cats defense is delivering the message here. Joaquin Bradley out on the corner. Listen to this pop.
Well, if Danny DeRiveau was not ready for the season, he is now. And he is down. DeRiveau expected to see a lot of the ball in kind of the same formation as number 86 was, Ben Cahoon, that inside slot position. So a big night here, obviously, for the Alouettes, who are injured, and also the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who are revamped. And here's what head coach Charlie Taff had to say before tonight's game.
You've earned the right to be successful. You are good enough. I told you that last week. And now you have to go out on that field and earn it. Nobody gives you anything. That's the great thing about this game. You earn everything you get. Starts right now, man. Let's be ready to go when that bell sounds. Go out there, 60 minutes, get after him, earn your own respect. Earn it. All right, let's go.
Well, the bell has sounded, and Joaquin Bradley rang the bell of Danny DeRiveau. Second down and 8 yards to go for the Alouettes. Passing down again. Look out. Calvillo avoids the rush and gives it off to number 85, Brian Bratton. And it's a first down for Montreal.
Tremendous pressure here off the end from Charlton Keefe. He's going to be your end on the right-hand side. Comes unblocked, but doesn't keep contained, doesn't keep that outside leverage. That allows AC to escape on the outside. Now you've got Brian Bratton. He recognizes that that pressure's coming, breaks off his route, gets to the outside. Nice execution there by the Alouettes on second down.
Bratton is one of those vertical guys, a lot of speed. There is Charlton Keefe, one of the rush ends, coming off the left side. Calvillo to the air again, over the middle. And this time Bratton can't hang on. Let's take a look at the offense that works under Anthony Calvillo.
Yeah, Avon Coburn draws into the starting lineup in the absence of Jarrett Payton, as the injuries are the theme here for the Montreal offense. We mentioned Danny DeRiveau stepping into the shoes of one Ben Cahoon. That makes Kerry Watkins the go-to guy here tonight. He's the veteran on the offensive line. 4 names you recognize. The 5th you might not. Jeff Parrott steps in at left tackle here in his 2nd year.
That is a big absence, though, of Ben Cahoon for the first time in his CFL career, missing a season opener. And Kerry Watkins spins. Watkins has room. Splits a couple tackles and down to the 30-yard line. A big play right away from Anthony Calvillo.
Well, we called Kerry Watkins the go-to guy in the absence of Cahoon. Elijah Thurman is out. Kerry Watkins lines up to the short side of the field. He's your wide man. He's going to run a slant. You're going to see him appear approaching the middle of your screen. Great throwing lane there. Nice protection. Kerry Watkins gets that inside position. Beats his corner, Lawrence Gordon, to the inside. Nice little move to cause a miss by the free safety and turns it upfield. Big game for the Alouettes.
Jamal Richardson's number 18 on the field right now. Lined up in the backfield, Avon Colburn. And Bud Steen, the longtime CFL official, has the whistle here. Here comes the Hamilton Tiger Cats D tonight.
On the D-line, they count so much on Knott and McKay Loescher to bring that heat off the edge. Hopefully Daryl Adams and Dominic Lewis can get a little bit of push up the middle so that McKay Loescher won't face any double teams. Of course, the linebacking core anchored by Zeke Moreno, terrific run stopper in the middle. He's got two new partners on the outside. And the defense bolstered by the addition of halfbacks Rontarius Robinson from Saskatchewan and Chris Thompson from Edmonton.
First and 10 from the Ticat 30. Colburn in the backfield. Looks like another passing down. It is. Calvillo to the air again. Lobs one up for Watkins. And Lawrence Gordon got in the path of that ball.
Well, going back to last season, the Hamilton Tiger Cats had a lot of issues in their secondary, but the feeling from their coaching staff was that their corners were very strong. Lawrence Gordon, a big part of that, playing on that island, the weak side corner where you're going to face a lot of action. Terrific position on Kerry Watkins, reads the receiver's eyes and hands and gets his head around it the last second as Watkins reaches for the ball. Textbook play by Lawrence Gordon on the corner.
Obviously, Mark Trestman has been watching a lot of CFL tape. Not one running play yet for the Alouettes. Calvillo again. But short of a first down is Kerry Watkins with another catch here early in the ball game.
And Kerry Watkins ends up running something of a squirrel route on the outside here once again. He's got that matchup with Gordon, smashes down into the middle, bounces it back out, hoping to get that corner backing off, but Rontarius Robinson, the halfback, picked him up and stayed with him. Good tackle to hold him short of a first down.
So a field goal attempt upcoming here. Damon Duvall from the 31-yard line. What will be a factor here tonight is the wind, which is continuing to pick up. Going from left to right on the screen. And the Montreal Alouettes drive culminates in a field goal by Damon Duvall. Their first points of 2008.
Breakdown on the last play comes right from the start. Watch the big dogs in the middle get that push. That leaves number 12, TJ Hill, free to shoot the gap and stuff Jesse Lumsden in the backfield.
Play action again. Look out. Anthony Calvillo goes down. And that's a turn of momentum right now as Daryl Adams was in the backfield. That's exactly what the Ticats D has to do to help their O.
Well, Montreal had trouble protecting the quarterback all last year, and it looks like those problems have not all been resolved. You see 68 sacks through 18 games a year ago, nearly 4 a game, won a game more than any other team in the league. So you know this has been a focus of head coach Mark Trestman through training camp. He won't be happy with that last play, Rod.
An experienced offensive line. Some people have said they are an aging offensive line. Calvillo again fires for Watkins. It's been all Calvillo and Watkins so far.
Well, this is the guy he's most familiar with. Without Cahoon, without Thurman, he's going to lean on the guy he knows, and Kerry Watkins is that man. Once again, he gets that inside position in that one-on-one matchup with Lawrence Gordon out on the island. They're going to test him out until Hamilton stops it. Now notice so far, Rod, they've thrown a couple of those quick slants. They're delivering the ball in front of that corner. Wait and see if they try to go over the top. Maybe with some sort of slant, and then he'll turn it upfield on a skinny post.
Anthony Calvillo last year, the youngest quarterback to go over 50,000 yards. He needs 140 yards now to pass Danny McManus for second all time. Danny Mac, by the way, now with the Tiger Cats, worked in the preseason and training camp with the quarterbacks, and there is word that he might actually stay on with the Tiger Cats to continue to work with KC Printers and Company.
Yeah, Danny Mac has that great mind of a coach. He always did as a player, and certainly KC Printers, Richie Williams, Timmy Chang, and Quinton Porter benefited from that through training camp. And the Hamilton coaching staff, led by Charlie Taft, recognized Danny's abilities and are looking to keep him around.
Well, he will likely see that number passed tonight. So a 3rd and 1 now. Adrian McPherson is into the game to handle the 3rd down play. Did he get it here? Depending on the spot, the marker just kind of on the 35.5-yard line.
Yeah, there wasn't a ton of push from the offensive line there, Rod, but looked like Adrian McPherson did a good job of finding a gap and burying himself in it.
There's Mark Trestman. So a lot of NFL experience with 8 NFL clubs during his time. 52-year-old was an offensive coordinator with 4 different clubs. He has a great pedigree. He's worked with some of the very best. And it looks like it is a first down. So the Alouettes will continue to move the football.
Once again, nice job there by Adrian McPherson to get the job done. Taking his role, a lot of people take those third down backup quarterback sneaks for granted. Adrian McPherson executed that well, recognizing that's his role, and it's an important one.
That was the first running play, if you want to call it that. Here is the first from scrimmage on the first down, and Avon Coburn rumbles for close to 10 yards. Again, Coburn will carry the mail here tonight. Jarrett Payton on the injured list, and the Alouettes are really banged up with 11 players, 11 key players out of the lineup.
Yeah, you look just at this starting offensive unit. We've got Coburn carrying the ball in that last one. He's in for Jarrett Payton. We've talked about Ben Cahoon, Elijah Thurman. It shows the depth of this Montreal team that they're able to withstand those losses.
McPherson again, it comes in. Second down, short yardage, and very close to the red zone here. Mark Trestman had his pregame press conference yesterday, and I was impressed with what I heard from him. He's, people are trying to grill him about, the fact he doesn't have CFL experience. What's this going to be like? Is he nervous? And he said, this is only one game. I know it's the opener. We will evaluate at the end of the season the goal, the ultimate goal, to be at the Grey Cup, which will be held in Montreal.
Yeah, and I like the way Mark Trestman handled himself. There was some humility there in recognizing he doesn't know everything in this league.
Calvillo over the top, Derivo inside the 20-yard line, now in the red zone for the Alouettes.
Setting up a little play action with the previous run play. Usually you want to establish your running game with a little bit more than one play on the ground before you go play action, but that one was successful. Going to see a quick inside handoff to Avon Coburn. You see the flow. Offensive line starts moving to the left. That allows AC a little bit of room to slide to his left and get it out to Danny Derivo.
Second down, couple of yards. Calvillo gets away and will take it himself and step out of bounds just at the first down marker. Anthony Calvillo is not showing any signs of rust here, is he?
No, he's sure not. AC is doing a terrific job making his decisions quickly, recognizing that he's not getting what he wants. The pressure's coming. He may have had a quick look out to that back at the flat, but knew he wasn't going to have time to get it there. Tucks the ball and runs. Sign of a veteran.
Anthony Calvillo got banged up a little bit last year, left the team late in the season to deal with personal family issues. The health of his wife foremost on his mind, is back with the team now. Marcus Brady, who led the Alouettes during the time, is injured now, so Brad Banks and Adrian McPherson are the backups. First and 10 from the 15. Calvillo, loads of time in the pocket. Coburn again. And right now, AC and the Montreal Alouette offense dissecting the Tiger Cat defense.
Yeah, Rod, this is where the Hamilton Tiger Cats need to get a little bit of heat after Anthony Calvillo. On that play, you see him check down to his back. Avon Coburn, who's running a hook over the middle. Terrific protection up front, but the Tiger Cats aren't bringing anybody. That allows AC to go through his reads. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down to the back over the middle. The Cats are making it a little bit too easy for a veteran quarterback right now.
So much for that offensive line that had some holes last year, doing a good job so far. Calvillo lofting to Watkins. He's got it. A touchdown. Well, isn't that appropriate? Because Kerry Watkins and Anthony Calvillo have put on a show here early on.
Great catch here by Kerry Watkins. and terrifically placed throw by Anthony Calvillo. Watch the coverage here by Lawrence Gordon. He does a nice job. He's right on Kerry Watkins, gets a hand on as the ball's in the air. Subtle little push in the back by the veteran and looks it in. AC just drops it in there with just enough space to get that foot down before he steps out of bounds.
Alouettes have dominated early on here. 5.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. A drive against the wind. Anthony Calvillo and Kerry Watkins connecting for the first touchdown for Montreal of the 08 season. Welcome back to Iverwin Stadium in Hamilton. Second quarter underway. All Alouettes. Joined now by our guest color commentator now. Yes. The one and only, the biggest Hamilton football fan besides Pigskin Pete, Martin Short.
Martin Short, that's me.
Welcome.
Hey, guys.
You've been to a few of these opening nights. You haven't been in the last couple of years.
No, I haven't been here since 2002. Yeah.
And they haven't won since 2000.
Hey, now listen to me.
I just wanted to point that out.
That's not, by the way, not true. There was that game.
That's right. That's
yeah. No, listen. First of all, it's early. Opening night nerves. I know it. I get nervous, but then you rally.
Take a look now. Adrian McPherson in here. Chance to punch it in for a touchdown. Looks like he may have got stuffed here.
No, he didn't get it.
That's your unbiased opinion, though, right, Mark?
No. I'm completely rooting for everybody here. Who's the other team? Ottawa Rough Riders.
They might be coming back next year. We'll take a look at the play here that got the Alouettes to the goal line. Pass interference call in the end zone.
Yeah, look at that.
That battle continues on out on the corner. Lawrence Gordon against Kerry Watkins.
You love football, I know that, but you love the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
I do. Well, I mean, first of all, I do love. I think CFL is the most exciting. I love the 3 downs. I think it makes a more exciting game, high-scoring game. And in LA, I have these great CFL parties. And everyone, you know, if anyone comes a skeptic, they leave saying, you know what, more fun.
So
no doubt.
CFL
Yeah, it's an easy
party.
sell.
Is there any kind of theme or anything that goes on with those?
CFL.
No, but I mean, anything else? Do you like?
Well, we'll have a beer. We'll have a
there
pizza.
There you go. And a pizza, donuts,
pals, peanuts.
Well, there's a little conversation here. Oh,
hey,
here you
look
are.
at that.
Look at this.
Hey, by the way, I think we got fined.
You got fined?
Yeah, I was told. Well, just because we were on the... I foolishly took my jacket off the last second. That caused a few seconds delay. You know, you learn by doing.
Yeah. You know it well, though. Very well.
Absolutely. Oh, no. I'm telling you, I came here every game throughout the 50s and 60s as a kid. And we used to sit behind the mayor of Stony Creek, who always drank. It was very exciting.
Martin Short, thank you so much.
My pleasure, guys.
Very good seeing you, as always.
Thank you. See you later.
Take care. Darren Diedrich now brought down at the 15-yard line. Well, here we are in the second quarter. We thank Martin Short. Always nice to see him. Here are our first quarter numbers brought to you by Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always.
And the things that stand out to you as far as this dominance by Montreal: time of possession, number of offensive plays, just sheer dominance from that Montreal offense in the first quarter.
Second down, 13. Calvillo to the end zone. Jamel Richardson can't bring it down, and good coverage by Markeith Knowlton, one of the new linebackers. Played in BC last year and was traded to the Ticats on the eve of the CFL draft.
Yeah, Markeith Knowlton is in that Sam linebacker spot, will frequently end up on the number 3 receiver. Big height mismatch here between he and Jamel Richardson, but Knowlton does a nice job getting up after that football to break up the play.
So the Alouettes were on the goal line. Will now have to settle for a field goal attempt from Damon Duvall. He's already made one here tonight. This to give Montreal a 13-0 lead. Just like that. So now the Tiger Cats with the wind trying to find the scoreboard here in their home opener. Early second quarter. And what has become a really nice night, especially for this guy, Anthony Calvillo. 10 of 14, 114 yards. Now the Tiger Cats under Casey Pritters need to get it going. Jesse Lumsden takes the handoff, but he is quickly wrestled to the ground by Devon Claybrooks.
Well, big Claybrooks at 300+ pounds in the middle of that defense led the charge. Good push up field, but just nice pursuit swarming to the football by the Alouettes D. You see this entire front seven. We mentioned Claybrooks right here in the middle. He starts it off by getting an edge. He's got a shoulder on his man, the center, Marwan Hage, so he's able to get into that gap and stuff that play.
Lumsden in the backfield again. 2nd and 9. Lumsden last year averaged 7.6 yards per carry. Passing down for Printers with time. A bullet to Scott Mitchell, who fumbles the football. Did he get it back? Pascal Masson is there. Eddie Cohen thought he had it. And it's up to the officials to figure this out. No one has given us a signal yet.
Except for about 15 white jerseys.
And now, of course, they go the other way. Was he down? And they are saying it's Montreal's football. Scott Mitchell, big game play, and drops it.
You're going to see a perfect strike here, first of all, from Printers. Mitchell looks it in and turns it up, but he's got that ball away from his body a little bit. Big stick by Masson. As Mitchell tries to scoop it in, he scoops it right back through his legs to the Alouette defenders.
Pascal Masson, of course, from that great football factory in Laval, splitting the safety duties tonight with Joel Wright, with Matthew Prue on the shelf. There is a challenge now, and again, this is the first challenge of the season by Charlie Taft. We saw the replay. What did you see? And anything in there that might be challengeable, that might turn this the other way?
Well, what Charlie Taft and his spotters are likely seeing is the Hamilton player, Mitchell, getting his hands on the ball first. But it certainly appeared at the end of the play, whether it was Mitchell himself pulling it in or Eddie Cohen diving for that ball, appeared to knock that ball back underneath Mitchell through his legs, allowing the Montreal players to get there.
Let's take a listen here and listen to the whistle on the play as well. Well, the whistle. And they're saying the play is not reviewable here. They may have been asking about that.
Yeah, one thing we should remind fans about is that when the officials are looking at that instant replay, they don't always hear that,
no, they're not
same
listening.
audio.
Hamilton has asked us to review the play on the basis that their man had the ball and was down by contact. We will review the play.
Okay, so under the hood, Bud Steen will go. And that's a lot of what we saw last year from Charlie Taft, who'd like to find a way to get his team to the end zone here. Let's take a look. Well, the ball's clearly out. And it's up for grabs. Loose ball.
The argument that the Tiger Cats are trying to make here is that if Mitchell or Cohen has possession of the ball here and the Alouette players touch them, that it should be their ball. But
it squirted out.
Clearly, yeah, he didn't have possession of the ball when the Alouette players piled on.
I'd be very surprised if this was overturned. Okay, well, and see, here's the thing. Slow motion brings it down even more. And, you know, maybe if the play is shown at fast motion, then, you know, you make the determination that, hey, it's a fumble.
On review, the Hamilton player was contacted to the ground. The ball came out. It was loose. A fumble in the field of play is not reviewable. Therefore, we will stay with the call on the field. Montreal, first down.
Pascal Masson is jacked up. Charlie Taft not so much. 11:47 to go in the second quarter, and this offense still has to kick it into gear. Early moments of the new season. Anthony Calvillo back on the field again. He's owned the field tonight. Little dump pass off to Avon Coburn.
They need this. Hamilton's defense needs a stop themselves. There's been so much dominance in terms of that time of possession. I'll tell you what, Rod, they're fortunate right now to only be down by 13 points, but the D needs to step up and make a stop if the offense isn't going to get it done. We saw the first play of this game. Joaquin Bradley had a big hit that seemed to spark a little bit of momentum for Hamilton. They need more of that from the defense.
Second down, 2 yards to go. Coburn again, first down. And everybody was looking over the middle as Calvillo feigned over there, just dropped it off into the arms of Coburn once again.
Yeah, back-to-back plays. We've seen Anthony Calvillo go through his progression of reads and then end up hitting Avon Coburn in the flat. They've gone to their receivers so much, particularly their wideouts, that they've got Hamilton dropping off a little bit, giving a little bit of space for those underneath routes, and now Calvillo is starting to exploit that.
This has been a clinic so far. Calvillo certainly hasn't gone deep by any stretch. 76 yards away from moving into second place all time. Once again, Coburn, Avon Coburn, finally brought down at the 23-yard line, but right now, the Alouettes marching again.
Well, when you teach your kids who are playing high school or youth football how to run a screenplay, show them this film. The offensive lineman, center Brian Chu, guard Scott Flory, tackle Dave Mudge, getting out in front, getting on those smaller, quicker bodies in space, and creating a lane for Avon Coburn to turn it upfield.
Close to the red zone again, or as some of the offenses like to refer to it, the green zone. Inside 10 minutes. And the Tiger Cats find a way to force a turnover here. Change the momentum.
Legal procedure. Montreal 68, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Interesting so far that Calvillo and the Alouettes offense have been really trying to keep the plays away from Zeke Moreno.
Well, they sure have. That's the strength of that Hamilton Tiger Cat defense. Number 16 in the middle. Working away from him. Of course, as we said, Kerry Watkins had a terrific year last year.
Another completion. There he is. Charlton Keith in on the tackle, but Zeke Moreno, you talk about terrific years. He was the leading tackler in the Canadian Football League. He was a CFL All-Star on a team that was 3-15. He made his presence felt in his first year in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, along with kicker Nicholas Setta, the Ticats only 2 All-Canadians a year ago. So they've got Moreno in the middle. Montreal's game plan is keeping the ball away from him, working the perimeter.
Watkins on the near side of the screen. Calvillo looks to him, but then has wide open field and can take off to the left side. Giving chase, bringing him down, was Markeith Knowlton.
The Ticats caught a break there that AC is not the fleetest of foot among CFL quarterbacks. Once again, they lost that contained responsibility as everybody crashed to the middle, took too flat an angle. AC was able to get outside, at least move it a little bit closer for Damon Duval's field goal attempt.
2 for 2 tonight, Damon Duval. This one will be held by Dave Stala at the 27-yard line, almost the 28. The Cats lucky that that drive sputters there, but they really need to get their offense back on the field and sustain a drive. So the Tiger Cats finally get a first down, get a chance to move the football near the midfield stripe. Lumsden in the backfield. Play action. Printers. What a sidestep there. And running room. Casey Printers has a first down.
Once again, this is what the Tiger Cats
look at this. Casey Printers just got flagged on this play for a little extracurricular stuff after that first down.
Objectionable conduct, taunting, Hamilton number 1, 10-yard penalty becomes 1st and 10, 1st and 10.
And Dwayne, the play previous to that, Printers came to this side of the field and was charging up the crowd, but the spike and then the objectionable conduct after the taunting is what they call it.
Yeah, and I have a bit of a problem with this call, Rod, because I think that what Casey Printers was trying to do, as you said, was directed towards the crowd, but because he happened to be in front of the Montreal bench, I think it was interpreted as him directing his actions towards the Montreal players.
Yeah, he's certainly not trying to taunt his own crowd.
Not likely.
So Printers has a chat now with Charlie Taff. There's Richie Williams, the backup, filled in for Printers late in the season last year. And again, that Hamilton team finishing 3-15. Getting a full year now, a full season of Casey Printers, who admitted that he didn't have a lot of rhythm, never got into enough reps with the team, never had a chance to show his stuff. Hasn't been the same for the last few years, hasn't had a chance to play. Play action again, Trey Smith on the reverse, and it was read perfectly by T.J. Hill.
T.J. Hill established himself last year as one of the top young linebackers in the Canadian Football League, and you'll see why here. Terrific instincts from number 12. He's at the right side of your screen. Reads this play. He beat Trey Smith to the spot running across that formation. He saw Smith coming in motion and ran from strong side to short side to shut that down, and a terrific tackle in the open field.
Second down now and 12. 5 minutes to go before halftime. Looking for Mitchell, instead finds Cohen. And it looks like it's another first down.
Another positive play from the Hamilton Tiger Cats as they're starting to have a little bit of success throwing that ball, but conspicuous by their absence, Rod, the veterans. Tony Miles, Pat Woodcock, the two guys who are on the short side of the field where you usually expect to see a lot of action. Neither one of those guys with a catch yet. We expected to see Casey Printers lean on those two experienced players a little bit more here.
Woodcock signed as a free agent. Tony Miles coming back from the Toronto Argonauts to the place where it all started. Now Jesse Lumsden, and that's closer to that average that he racked up last year in his 10 games played. He rushed for 743 yards. And again, over 7 yards per carry. That is an impressive number.
Yeah, Jesse Lumsden has that great breakaway speed. We almost saw him use it there. He just wasn't able to quite get going before the tackle came from behind. But if Jesse Lumsden's able to get a crack and bounce it to the outside, look out.
16-0 Montreal as the Tiger Cats get close to the red zone here. Lumsden again on second down, but he is stopped in his tracks. And the name that has been often called in Hamilton the last season and got called upon a lot, maybe too much sometimes, was Nick Setta. And here he comes. That's why he became an all-star last year.
Yeah, the struggles of this Ticat offense every time they got in that scoring zone. Unable to finish drives. Nicholas Setta had plenty of opportunities to kick field goals, and give him credit because he delivered.
Yeah, he had to make them. But Charlie Taft told us that he'd like to see a little less Nick Setta, only on converts, point afters.
Fewer field goals, more PATs.
To put Hamilton on the board here. On the 44, kick is up against the wind, and it's good. Nick Setta led on field goal percentage last year. However, there's a penalty flag on the far side of the field. It's against Hamilton.
Procedure call as the Cats keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Illegal procedure, no end. Hamilton, it's a 5-yard penalty. We repeat, 3rd down.
Rod, for a team that's made such a big deal going into this season about being more disciplined in how they play, we've seen a big gain to Scott Mitchell, and with a fumble, lack of ball security. Big gain by Casey Printers. Takes the time to celebrate and ends up getting flagged for taunting. Now they finally get a play where they put some points on the board and get called for procedure because of something as simple as formation, somebody not lining up in the right spot or not knowing their responsibility.
And the worst possible thing is that it's against a very stiff breeze here. And Nick Seta, they're calling timeout, and this is a lot of what happened last year to Charlie Taft. Got very frustrated on the sidelines from the lack of communication or the lack of discipline within his ranks. And it looks like Seta will be kicking this, but it's going to be a punt. So that penalty takes points off the board. Jason Armstead again back at his 5 as Seta will probably try to angle this. And another penalty flag. Well, there's another point put on the board, but who knows, maybe that'll get taken back too. Just over 3 minutes to go, holding against Montreal.
Holding, Montreal 16. Hamilton has accepted the penalty. There will be no point scored, no point. It's 1st down Montreal, 5-yard line.
So instead of taking the point, they will pen the Alouettes and play for field position here with just over 3 minutes to go before halftime. Nicholas Seta just had 4 points in the season just taken away.
Easy come, easy go for Mr. Seta.
Right decision at this time, do you think? They could have probably opted to take the point.
Well, the single point isn't that valuable to you, no matter how much your offense happens to be struggling. So you're going to take a chance on your defense here and hope that they're able to hold Montreal, pin them, and get some field position that a short field will help them score.
Calvillo and company have shredded the Ticats tonight. 3-minute warning on the field. With the Alouettes leading 16-0 in opening night in the CFL on TSN. Opening night in the Canadian Football League. Doubleheader. First this game, Montreal and Hamilton. Later, BC and Calgary. Chris Cuthbert, Glenn Suter standing by. Our panel sitting by in the studio. Another penalty flag flies here. Pass knocked down on 2nd and 8 for the Alouettes.
There appeared to be some early movement at the line. Both teams accuse each other.
Offside. Hamilton, number 9. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Not McKay Loescher off the end is the guilty party.
So 2nd down and 3 yards to go here. Two and a half minutes to go before the halftime. Game tonight dominated by the men in white. Calvillo out of the backfield. Kerry Carter, former Seattle Seahawk. And he picks up a 1st down. So all of this has kind of backfired on Charlie Taft and the Tiger Cats because the Alouettes have brought the ball out near the 30-yard line.
And on this play, Montreal takes advantage of Hamilton expecting a run look. They bring everyone down into the box. Kerry Carter, the lead blocker, to the left side of your screen. Everybody assumes he's going to block. They pinch down. Nobody follows Kerry Carter out into the flat. He's wide open for the 1st down.
Alouettes have had very little trouble moving the football here tonight, mostly through the air. Coburn's in the backfield. Calvillo has been very impressive so far. Coburn again on the screen. And another big gain for Avon Coburn. And it's another Montreal first down.
Well, Avon Coburn continues to have a very good first half here for the Montreal Alouettes. We mentioned he's in that running back spot in relief of the injured Jarrett Payton, doing a terrific job. We've seen him run the ball, making people miss. Tough inside runner. A banger, low center of gravity, keeps those legs churning. We've seen Avon Coburn slip out into the flat, catching the ball in flats and screens. Good all-purpose player, well suited to this Canadian game.
In the pocket, Calvillo. Back to Coburn again and a penalty flag. And in on the tackle is Zeke Moreno. And is this a hold against Montreal? Looks like it is.
Holding. Montreal number 65. It's a 10-yard penalty. We repeat, first down.
Paul Lambert.
Well, these two teams continue to struggle, Rod, with those discipline-type penalties, unnecessary penalties. Anthony Calvillo was able to get rid of the ball reasonably quickly in that situation. There wasn't necessarily a need for that hold to take place. You get some that happen because you're just trying to protect your quarterback. Others that happen because you get a little sloppy in your technique like that.
1st and 20 now. Calvillo is hit. Dominic Lewis brings Calvillo down, and a rare incompletion from the Montreal quarterback here in this first half.
Well, this is what the Hamilton Tiger Cats need to get a little bit more of. You've got Dominic Lewis at the top of your screen from that end spot. He's working on the new guy at left tackle. Jeff Parrott beats him with a quick inside swim and gets to AC, forcing the rush pass.
It's a big play now in this first half. 2nd down and 20. And it's a drop play up the middle. Darren Diedrich. But it looks like now Hamilton will get the football back and have about 2 minutes to operate. Damon Duvall comes out. Diedrich almost got back to that first down marker.
Well, give credit to the Montreal offense. They were handed this ball in the shadow of their goalpost, the 5-yard line. All you can really hope for in a situation like that is to get a couple of first downs so that you're not getting killed in the field position battle that's so critical. Great job to move the football.
Trey Smith is back, an end-over-end kick. Smith has good breakaway speed if he can find a seam, but look at this kick that goes out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. But there is a penalty flag back near the midfield stripe.
Back in that territory, usually suspect holding on the kicking team or on the returning team. Guys hang on a little bit too long to their blocks at the line.
Holding. Hamilton number 34. Penalty will be applied at the point the ball went out of bounds. It's first down.
So just when Charlie Taff and company thought that they had the Owls hemmed into their own zone, 5-yard line, now they have to start inside their 5-yard line with 1:53 to go and an offense that has sputtered here in this first half.
Yeah, suddenly that single point that they turned down on that penalty decision looks pretty good. The Hamilton Tiger Cats now need to answer the drive that the Montreal Alouettes just posted. Hamilton doesn't obviously want to give the ball back to Montreal with any time left on the clock because they did immediately be in field goal range.
16-0 Montreal. Printers had Cohen. Pat Woodcock brings it down for his first catch as a Ticat. And a beautiful catch by Woodcock.
And this is why you lean on your veterans in a tough situation. Pat Woodcock showing the sense of urgency that more of the Ticats need to develop here in this situation. It may only be the opening week of the season. You see that hunger, going up, getting the ball, surrounded by defenders. Pat Woodcock was the smallest man involved in that jump ball.
Printers again. Mitchell again. Scott Mitchell has been very active here. And it's another first down. The Cats Starting to claw their way back here and looking like they have a little more confidence in the air game.
When you're Charlie Taff and Marcel Belfay, you look for positives when you go in at halftime, and those two plays certainly qualify.
Printers avoids Hill. Woodcock again steps out of bounds. One of the biggest plays for the Ticats tonight. Pushes them into Montreal territory.
Watch Casey Printers making things happen. He feels the pressure. They've got an unblocked man in this scheme. TJ Hill off the edge. Little fake inside, jab step. Gets Hill up in the air thinking he's going to throw it. That allows Casey Printers to escape to the outside and buys him time to deliver the strike to Pat Woodcock on the sideline.
Just over a minute to go in this second quarter. Woodcock with a couple catches now. They still have not used Terry Vaughn wearing number 2. Tony Miles rather. Terry Vaughn, of course, was famous number 2 here.
You're having flashbacks, partner.
Having flashbacks.
Of course, first season opener here in 31 years. It's
31 years. There's Tony Miles wearing number 2. He says he's wearing number 2 because it's his second go around here. He used to wear number 22.
Tony Miles,
Holding.
veteran.
Hamilton number 69. It's a 10-yard penalty. We repeat, first down.
Did a nice job. Tony Miles has terrific feet. You saw it on that break as he got that little outside stem on Randy Drew and was able to break inside, but the ball was gone too quickly.
Jason French to the top part of your screen, wide out to the right side of Printers. And he'll take off with it. Lots of room here for Casey Printers. A minute to go now.
Now Casey Printers' rod is starting to look like Casey Printers. Moving around, making things happen on his own, and that's starting to open some things up for his receivers downfield. The threat of that quarterback who's going to run keeps everybody honest. 16 yards on that play.
Mitchell in motion over the middle. And he has him. And Scott Mitchell has become the guy with the bullseye so far here tonight. 4th catch for him, and it's a first down again for the Tiger Cats.
Scott Mitchell has bounced back nicely from those 2 errors earlier, a drop and a fumble. He's made a couple of big catches on this drive.
And a sustained drive as well for Hamilton. Here comes the rush. Good protection. Printers. Lobs one up. Woodcock has it inside the 10. He was wide open. Now, was he inbounds, however?
Very close to the sidelines. Keep an eye on Pat Woodcock's right foot.
That.
Well, you know the Hamilton Tiger Cats better try and snap the ball quickly here.
Oh, look at this.
Towing the line.
And they do snap it quickly. Printers, and Mitchell dropped it. That one was right in the midst.
Yeah, and this is the downside that you see with these young receivers. We've seen the athleticism from Mitchell and Cohen. The downside, what Hamilton needs to try and straighten out as this year moves on, is getting the consistency out of them. You've got to finish the play.
26 seconds to go. Second down, 9 yards. Drive that started on their own 3-yard line. Can they find the end zone? Or will it be set a time? Woodcock again. In double coverage. Woodcock got his hand on it, but that was it. And so the Tiger Cats will settle for 3.
Well, Casey Printers appeared to get locked in right from the snap on this one. determined that he was going to go to Pat Woodcock. Double coverage. Safety cheated that way. They had halfback and corner on him. Probably had a better shot on the short route to Eddie Cohen, who was the underneath man on that side.
Well, Mr. Reliable has been Nicholas Seta. Had a field goal taken off the board earlier. This to put the Cats on the board just before halftime. And in many ways, this score could be a lot more in favor of the Montreal Alouettes. It's 16-3, but that was an opportunity missed. Anthony Calvillo under center this time, not in the shotgun, but is throwing anyway on the rollout. Kerry Carter down the sideline, and another big play from the Alouettes.
Once again, it's that play action. Give a good run look, and it gets the defense flowing the wrong way. That allows Anthony Calvillo to go bootleg out to the backside. You see that flow of the D going right. McKay Loescher initially thinks he's got to take on Kerry Carter on a run block. Fights past him, but then Carter is left uncovered out in the flat. They leave that end in a quandary. It's almost like an option type play, but working upfield.
Calvillo's had a lot of success tonight. Keep in mind, he's without some weapons. Jarrett Payton out, Elijah Thurman, and of course his favorite target through the years, Ben Cahoon. He's in trouble here, lets it go downfield. And that one intended for rangy receiver Eric Deslauriers.
Eric Deslauriers in his second year here with the Alouettes. A young man from whom they're expecting big things this year. He was their first-round pick a couple years ago out of Eastern Michigan University. As you said, Rod, a big receiver. 6'4", 200+ pounds.
Kind of an Andy Fantuz type.
Well, exactly. Those two guys were rated 1-2 in that 2006 draft.
Anthony Calvillo, moments away, it appears, from moving into second place all time. Not this time. Brought down. And that's a big defensive play, not McKay Loescher.
One of the big keys to this play is the fact that they get a push up field from all over. But watch the effort from Naughton McKay Loescher. He's going to be your left end. Splits the double team here and just keeps pushing, pushing, pushing. But because the pressure comes from the entire defensive line instead of one guy, there's not an escape lane for Anthony Calvillo. Nice little reward for his sack.
Whoa, almost blocked. Smith brought down quickly, and there is a penalty flag at the 45-yard line. But that was one of the few defensive sequences for Hamilton where they actually brought a few more people and put a little more pressure on Anthony Calvillo. It might be a trend for the second half.
Yeah, that should be one of the adjustments they made at halftime. You see Naughton McKay Loescher trying to get the troops fired up to keep bringing that heat. It's the first half, they just let AC sit back and pick them apart.
Illegal block. Hamilton, number 32. 10-yard penalty, first down.
One step backward. Again, after going forward, Charlie Taft sees his team after good field position here. Goes another couple steps backward. Let's go down to James Cybulski on the sidelines.
Just an update on Cedric Gagné-Marcoux, the left guard for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. He suffered a shoulder injury to his right shoulder. At this point, he remains in the Ticats dressing room being looked at by doctors. No word at whether or not he will be returning for the game. Guys.
All right, thank you, James. We'll continue to get an update on that. KC Printers now. Close to a first down. In fact, it is a first down. And once again, Scott Mitchell.
So we see the somewhat schizophrenic performance continuing from Scott Mitchell. He's going to be the middle receiver in this set. Pushes upfield, drives his defensive back, Chip Cox off the ball to get a little bit of separation, then breaks it in, and again, goes up in traffic. But this up and down performance from Mitchell, a good play there. Let's hope he can keep that trend alive.
Lumsden now up the gut. Jesse Lumsden told us yesterday that in all the talk around here, sometimes people talking about in negative terms about the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the fact they've had, you know, kind of awful seasons the last 3 seasons and terrible starts. He says the one goal that this team has this year is, you know, they're going to get better, and like every other team in the CFL, they want to make the playoffs.
Yeah, we said it off the top. In week 1, hope springs eternal across the CFL. Every team believes they've got a chance to win.
High snap and bobbled. Down on the ground is the football. It's still loose. Who has it? There's a hot potato there. Casey Printers dropped it. Still awaiting a signal here. Looks like a little scrum here. Casey Printers not letting go of that football. It is Montreal football. Another turnover. 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. 16-3 Alouettes.
Well, the snap was obviously a problem on that last turnover, but the other big issue was the linebacker, Diamond Ferry. You're going to see him shoot the gap. Weak side linebacker going to the A gap, times up his blitz perfectly. So he arrives in the backfield just as the ball hits the ground. He almost caught that one in the air. Well timed up, reading those snap counts.
Calvillo will start at the Hamilton 51, 7 yards away from second place all time. Slides for a couple yards at most.
Well, as the Ticats start to get a little bit of pressure, if they can manage to keep that contained responsibility, not let Anthony Calvillo run to the outsides of the pocket where he has time to throw the football. If they can force him to stay inside where he's trying to run up the middle, Anthony Calvillo's not going to beat them. But if they let him outside, AC is going to have a chance to move the sticks and make some plays downfield. As you see, contained so important. When he gets outside, good things happen. If they keep him in, advantage Hamilton.
Second down now, and Kerry Watkins dropped the football. You don't see that happen very often.
Well, Kerry Watkins off to a terrific start here in 2008. And that's one, as you said, Rod, Kerry Watkins is going to catch that ball 99 times out of 100. Nice throwing lane there for Calvillo, protection at the line of scrimmage. Put him in a bad spot, I guess, eh? Right in the midst.
So back at his 45-yard line, Damon Duvall. Cats had a good rush last time. Look out here again. Almost had it blocked again. A wobbler. Trey Smith. No yards on the play.
Love the play by the returner, Trey Smith, to come up aggressively and catch the ball in the air. So many returners, particularly guys in their first year from the U.S., are hesitant to do that.
No yards. Montreal 46. First down.
So after turning the football over, Casey Printers gets it back with minimal damage. Loss of about 20 yards in the entire sequence. Needs to get the offense grooving again here. Jesse Lumsden in the backfield. Backpedal by Printers. Now some running room, but throws instead. And Tony Miles back in Hamilton. That's number 1. His first catch, the former Argo.
It's the guy we've been waiting for. Good veteran presence here from Tony Miles. As he sees his quarterback, Casey Printers, on the scramble. Printers initially was going wide side. Miles is lined up to the short side, breaks off his route and understands how to come back into holes on what they call scramble rules. Moving with your quarterback. Tony Miles gets himself open, hooks up with Printers.
Lumsden, head down, feet churning. And Casey Printers, I'm sure, knows well that Tony Miles, when he becomes an intended or favorite target, can do a lot of damage. Just ask Damon Allen, ask Michael Bishop, guys that he connected with in Toronto.
Yeah, and one of the things that's going to help Tony Miles so much as this season goes on will be the development of those young receivers, and we can call it a symbiotic relationship. Part of Tony Miles' role here is to help those young guys develop. Tony is a great communicator, a good veteran who really understands the game well, so he's going to help bring those guys along as they do, you're going to see Tony's production come up because teams won't be able to focus so much on him.
Back in Hamilton for a second go around. 2nd and 7. Printers over the middle. Penalty flag. Eddie Cohen has the football right at the midfield stripe. Is this another holding call?
Holding. Hamilton 67. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. 2nd down.
Peter Diakowski again in for Cedric Gagne-Marcoux.
Diakowski, who started last season at guard. Going to see big number 67 right here in your play. As the play goes on, defensive lineman Robert Shaw tries to spin on him. You see him grab a little bit of cloth there. He had enough help actually from his center, Marwan Hage, on that play that he really didn't need to grab hold. But once the referees, the officials see that cloth get stretched, you know the flag won't be far behind.
2nd and long. And a whistle now and a penalty flag on the far sideline. Seems every time the Tiger Cats get even a teensy bit of momentum, it's taken away.
Procedure. Hamilton 69, 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
And the big question for head coach Charlie Taff is, how patient can you be? He knew he had a lot of young guys in this lineup, as well as all the rookies in the receiving corps. You know, some second-year guys on that offensive line. Gagne-Marcoux, who was in earlier. Of course, Peter Diakowski, who's in now. But they can't have this many penalties. As you see, twice as many as their opponent. They're giving away field position.
And almost 100 yards. Printers in trouble again. Dances now. Look out. Oh, he is rocked. Dwayne Taylor. Missed all of last season in Montreal. Plays the middle now for the Alouettes. Put his sights on Casey Printers and dropped him.
Yeah, Printers came on the scramble, but Dwayne Taylor is one of those guys who has enough mobility, enough agility in the open field that he can come full speed after Casey Printers and not worry too much about breaking. Just juking him. Terrific job.
Just over 6 minutes to go. And brought for a loss on the return to Jason Armstead. Still 16-3. 6 minutes to go, 3rd quarter at Ivor Wynne Stadium in Hamilton. Journey begins tonight to the Grey Cup in Montreal in November. Alouettes would love to use their own locker room and make it there again. Avon Coburn used a lot in that first half. Breaks a couple more tackles and another 1st down. He has done a nice job here tonight, Dwayne Ford.
Well, he sure has. And typically, Avon Coburn's a real physical runner, a banger. But watch the juke he throws on Zeke Moreno, one of the best tacklers in the CFL. Oh, comes up empty. Fantastic feet from Coburn.
Calvillo's gone to some of the weapons that he's used in the past, like Coburn tonight and Kerry Watkins. In the absence of Ben Cahoon. Twin backs now. Coburn again. Ray Marius wasn't about to be deked that time.
Ray Marius, of course, earning that starting spot at the weak side linebacker position, occupied last year by Juwan Armour, who left for Calgary as a free agent. Cats decided to rework their import-non-import ratio by inserting, realistically, the best non-import on their roster who wasn't already starting, Ray Marius, in that spot. He's done a nice job. You see him out in passing downs. He leaves the game in passing downs, and Sandy Bedridge comes in to play that spot as essentially a second safety.
Anthony Calvillo didn't like the alignment there, and clock was winding down. So timeout from Montreal. Jason Armstead comes off the sideline. Looked like he didn't have the numbers in his huddle on the line of scrimmage. Well, tonight is opening night. And following this game, we'll send you out to McMahon Stadium in Calgary. The BC Lions take on the Stampeders. Dave Dickinson now a Stampeder. Right after this game. Calvillo again. Over the middle to Armstead. Still on his feet. And move over, Danny Mac. There is a new number 2 on the CFL all-time yardage list. Anthony Calvillo.
A well-deserved honor. Nicely executed play, which is very fitting when you look at Anthony Calvillo's career. Jason Armstead on the in route. Well-timed, hits him with the strike. And he is number 2.
Damon Allen still number 1 by a wide margin. Calvillo to the air again. And open for an easy touchdown. Kerry Watkins, his 2nd of the night.
Well, Kerry Watkins continues to have a big night here. Most reliable guy. The familiarity again between quarterback Calvillo and Kerry Watkins. Lawrence Gordon has been doing battle on the weak side corner here, but if you keep an eye at the top of your screen, there's your man. Kerry Watkins gets the outside release. Gordon has good position, but their feet catch. Gordon goes down, and it leaves Watkins wide open. Tough break for Lawrence Gordon out on the corner.
So Watkins coming up big here tonight. Pair of major scores. Damon Duvall punches the point after through. And Anthony Calvillo moving up that list. Number 2 all-time now. And the Owls lead by 20. We've had a few sacks tonight. This is last year's number, the Purolator sack tally, brought to you by Purolator, where business is going.
And you look at those numbers, the BC Lions with 61. Think of some of those guys who are racking up those sacks. Cameron Wake, Aaron Hunt, Tyrone Williams. Guys that now Hamilton GM Bob Obilovich brought into the league. May need to find a few of those gems for the Ticats.
Flushed out of the pocket is Calvillo on the run. And almost up for grabs. Looking for Jamel Richardson. Cameron Wake had a season for the ages last year. Rookie of the Year, a most outstanding defensive player. Says he's going to be even bigger and better this year.
Him by himself is a scary thought for opposing offensive linemen. But when you factor in those other guys along the line with him, you can never focus on just one guy on that BC defensive line, because any of the other 3 can make your life miserable.
And those BC fans watching can see their team coming up after this one. Lions in Calgary to open the 08 season. 2nd and 10. Over 12 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Calvillo over the middle. What a catch. Unbelievable. And Danny Devereaux has an unbelievable catch up the middle.
Yeah, and this game started with Danny Devereaux getting absolutely rocked. This time, bounces right back from that. Fearless going into traffic, because Danny Devereaux knows that the free safety Ryan Glasper is coming to take his head off. But the concentration on this football, and then the presence of mind to keep his feet after taking that lick. Nice job by the 2nd-year receiver.
Calvillo's come up with a lot of big 2nd down plays. 1st down play this time. Delorier thrown out of bounds. Danny Devereaux, you're right, took that big hit early on and has been able to come up with a couple of nice catches after that. A lot of players might not have been able to continue in this game. Devereaux and Delorier tandem. Not McKay Loescher going off the field. We'll try to get an update from James.
McKay Loescher struggled with some back problems last year, and you wonder by the way he's walking if it could be the same thing acting up again.
Once again, Calvillo picking apart the Cats. Devereaux again.
What's up, everybody in Regent Park, Toronto, Scarborough? The Ticats, we'll be back, man. Don't worry about it. Hamilton, I want a sold-out audience against Saskatchewan in 2 weeks.
Not McKay Losher. He's one of the team leaders out there, obviously, and team cheerleaders as well. He's been firing up his teammates in the crowd. They just haven't had a spark here tonight on either side of the ball. Anthony Calvillo over 300 yards passing tonight. Out of the backfield will add to the tally. Coburn again.
Once again, the amount of time that Anthony Calvillo is being given by his offensive line is what's allowing him to be successful here tonight. He's able to progress through his reads, looking downfield, seeing who's covered, goes through first priority, second, third, fourth, check down to my back, and he actually has the time to go through all of those and deliver a quality throw with some patience to his running back, Avon Coburn. Heads up for the offensive line.
Darren Dietrich, Canadian running back. And again, they keep piling up the yardage here, and another touchdown here, you would have to think, based on the lack of resistance tonight from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Might be able to put one on the win column already and would be #1 for this guy.
Well, just a minute ago, we saw not McKay Losher leave the game with injury. During the break, we saw the Cats' other Canadian D lineman, Clinton Wayne, limp off the field. Now, because of the ratio, to maintain that ratio, the Cats have to put the non-import Sandy Beveridge in at free safety in place of Ryan Glasper. It'll be interesting to see with Beveridge, the non-starter, in the game if they try to go after him.
Another completion, a hard hit too. Derivo again. He's been an important part on this drive.
Yeah, and you know they're just running their playbook. He's in Ben Cahoon's spot. He's going to catch the balls. There you see Danny Derivo, inside receiver to the short side of the field. He's got his Kerry Watkins running the go route. You see Lawrence Gordon passed up Kerry Watkins on that go route to come up and make the hit underneath. If he does that again, watch for Watkins over the top.
Calvillo takes it himself, slides for the first down. Anthony Calvillo has been fleet of foot here tonight too. If he's not in the pocket throwing, he's been fleshed out throwing, and then has been prone to take off with it.
Yeah, and that's a veteran quarterback. Anthony Calvillo is not a guy who's going to run for the sake of running because his legs are this great weapon like a Casey Printers or a Henry Burris. But he's a guy who understands that as a quarterback in the Canadian Football League, for as many times as you're going to drop back and throw, there are some times where you're going to have to run, and you need to turn that into a positive play.
Another red zone play here for the Alouettes. Coburn bashing his way down to the 3-yard line. Helmet off. He's been a real fighter here tonight, gaining a lot of extra yardage after the initial hit.
Yeah, great explosion here from the backfield from Avon Coburn. Just that great burst. And he's been helped by the fact that Anthony Calvillo has been willing to run with the football a little bit here tonight, because that keeps the defense honest. It prevents the ends from crashing down to pursue that running back with the ball, because they have to maintain leverage on Anthony Calvillo. They have to honor that bootleg.
Just by a nose, first down. It has been in many ways a brilliantly called game plan by the Alouettes here tonight.
Yeah, brilliantly called and superbly executed as well. Give so much credit to Anthony Calvillo. Remember, he's working without some key guys in this offense, but you're seeing that depth and the fact that everybody is on the same page.
He has eaten up almost 6 minutes of the clock on this drive. Calvillo throws to the end zone and overthrows Kerry Watkins. That would have been the hat trick.
Kerry Watkins lines up once again. The outside receiver, the short side of the field, continuing to do battle out on that island with Lawrence Gordon. And some people are going to criticize Lawrence Gordon. He's given up a couple of touchdowns here tonight. He's done a good job on Kerry Watkins, a veteran receiver, a dangerous receiver in this league. He's been in tight coverage, caught a tough break on that last play, the last touchdown by Watkins where their feet got tangled.
Coburn, touchdown. Avon Coburn and Kerry Watkins, along with Anthony Calvillo tonight, have been the triumvirate. They're a three-headed monster, and they have done a lot of damage to the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Watch the push by the big boys up front. Brian Chu gets a hat on Zeke Moreno. Dave Mudge, Paul Lambert, Scott Flory, Jeff Parrott. Nice job moving the line of scrimmage. And of course that guy, Avon Coburn.
Big night for him. AC. Two ACs combining again. Inside 7 minutes, it's 30-3. Owls.
That's the West Virginia. That's the ABC. Get it to them, man. Put it on them, please. Put it on them.
Little camera shy right now. To see some of those linemen get some camera time. They did a great job. They have done a great job tonight protecting Anthony Calvillo. And helping that Montreal offense. Trey Smith, nowhere to go again. Yeah, you know, you look at, you know, the success of what the Alouettes have done, particularly here in the second half, and Calvillo and the yardage he's racked up. Lost in all of it. People are going to talk about Calvillo and Coburn and Watkins. But really, those guys in the front line who have been a little bit maligned lately.
Yeah, much maligned last year. We looked at the stat off the top about the number of sacks they gave up last year, the most in the league by a long shot. But the key for Anthony Calvillo here tonight has been the time he's had to progress through his reads. Make throws unrushed.
Printers fires. And the catch made by Eddie Cohen. Well, it's football season, but there's still some ice news. The free agent frenzy. Special on TSN Tuesday, 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific. As the market opens up. It has been a quiet night for those fans, trying to restore the roar in Hamilton. Lots of time. Printers flushed out and brought down again. And the helmet knocked off as well. Claybrooks in on the sack.
Well, this is just pressure coming from all directions on Casey Printers. And coming at the right angles as well, as they were able to keep him in the pocket here. Good coverage downfield, forces Printers to hold on to the ball. You see the twist on one side between Claybrooks and Anwar Stewart. On the other side, it's John Bowman keeping him in the pocket, which allows Claybrooks to run him down from behind.
Nick Seta on his goal line against the wind. Rising kick. No yards call. Armstead would like to make a statement himself here. Ticats let him go to Montreal, where he signed as a free agent. So this will be good field position now for the Montreal Alouettes.
Good return, and then tack another 15 on it because he caught that ball in the air with the no yards call.
Well, of course, TSN is your home for the CFL.
Hamilton 23. 15-yard penalty, first down.
All season long. Coming up next, the BC Lions and the Calgary Stampeders. Friday night football, Wendy's Friday night football tomorrow night. The Argos in Winnipeg to take on the Blue Bombers. And then on Saturday, Wendy's CFL on TSN, Edmonton against Saskatchewan. Anthony Calvillo has been shut down for the night. Brad Banks comes off the bench, and he'll get some playing time here. Again, Marcus Brady, their normal backup, is on the shelf right now. Banks, good deception there on that fake, and is brought down. So this is a good opportunity for Banks to get some playing time based on how serious Marcus Brady's injury is.
Yeah, I like this decision to get Brad Banks into the game and get him in fairly early instead of just that last minute where 2 of his 5 plays are going to be kneel downs. Get him a little bit of meaningful playing time here where he can actually run the whole playbook, where it's not just a matter of strictly running out the clock. See Brad Banks' numbers over his career with Ottawa, Winnipeg, and now with Montreal.
A good night for Mark Trestman and the Alouettes. He's talking with former Alouette Pierre Vercheval, now a broadcaster this week. He said he also brought a sense of discipline to training camp, things that they didn't do last year. And he worked the Alouettes hard.
Yep. Anthony Calvillo said it to us yesterday. Mark told us training camp would be tough, and it was tough.
Second down. And flags flying. Let's go down to James Cybulski.
Well, there's a good reason why Anthony Calvillo is also sitting on the sidelines here. He actually has a sore left Achilles, and I think with the score being 30-3 with 5 minutes to go, it's given him an excellent opportunity to kind of rest that. It's more for precautionary reasons more than anything, but he says he's fine.
Well, he's doing all that sprinting tonight out there.
Yeah, more running than the veteran is used to.
It is so nice to see Anthony Calvillo back. And the game missed him. Montreal Alouettes missed him late last season. More important things in life, the health of his family and his wife.
As nice as it is to see Anthony Calvillo back playing football, equally nice to hear him yesterday talk about how well his wife is doing.
Which is the most important thing of all. We still have inside 5 minutes to go.
We got a lot of good stuff.
You heard it there. He said we got a lot of good stuff. We got a lot of great stuff tonight, AC. And think about it. He was missing BC, Ben Cahoon, Elijah Thurman, a number of his weapons. Damon Duvall from the 39-yard line. Perfect night so far. And hooks one through. And adds to the tally. What a night for the Alouettes and Anthony Calvillo. So now the backups will play the duration. 4 minutes to go. Richie Williams, who got a lot of playing time late last season. Trey Smith. Forget about him. Goodbye. Touchdown. 75 yards, and finally something to cheer about in Hamilton.
Trey Smith, an exciting player, Rod. You and I saw it last week. We had a chance to watch that Hamilton-Toronto exhibition game. This guy turned the game around. This thing is going to part like the Red Sea, right up the middle for Trey Smith. Bauman got a hand on him, but didn't wrap up. It almost looked as if he was keeping one eye on Smith and one eye on Richie Williams, who was on that bootleg. Everybody knows how Richie likes to run. Trey Smith, I told you, it's not scary to look at. It's just scary to play against.
Had a punt return last week. Almost took it for a touchdown, and also had a big gainer. Remember, just like that play, right up the middle, the seas parted. Trey Smith has his first Canadian Football League touchdown.
Offside. Montreal number 12. 5-yard penalty would be applied on the kickoff. Convert is good.
I'm old now.
Hamilton fans are going to grow to like this young man.
See Trey Smith just run straight up the field. Right here, you see John Bowman comes in off that end. He puts his hands on him and shoves him, but he's trying to get back outside because he knows I'm responsible for the quarterback on the bootleg. Yeah, unless the running back has the ball, John.
You know what that looked like there? That looked like a relay race at the Olympics where the guy hands the baton to the anchor man and just go. You know, think about all of the things that Charlie Taff and the Ticats have tried. Casey Printers, the motion and everything else.
Yeah, they've talked so much about it, and a zone play where the running back doesn't even have to cut back. He just takes it straight up the gut. Ends up being their lone big play of the night, really.
Big kick. Armstead trips at the goal line. And we'll bring the ball back to the 15-yard line. A penalty flag. Ticats say they have the football, but there was a whistle and he was down. Montreal next week will play host to Winnipeg. Friday night game. And the Tiger Cats will attempt to regroup and take on
Major foul.
the Toronto Argonauts.
Unnecessary roughness. Montreal 48. Penalties half the distance to the goal. First down.
And a fumble is not reviewable. Charlie Taff out on the field now. And a fumble in the field of play is not reviewable. Now,
this is one of those calls that hurts largely because the
Gray
point
area.
of having instant replay is to make sure that you get the calls right.
And around now, Coburn again.
You can't blame the officials for not reviewing it because they're just following the rule book. But to me, they missed the initial call. And again, the point of instant replay is to make sure we get the calls right. But the rules around the instant replay prevent them from getting it right.
I'll ask you the question that's on the minds of many when we come back. 3-minute warning and a 23-point Alouette lead. Let's take another look at what happened here. And again, under the rule book, fumble in the field of play, not reviewable. Not reviewable plays, by the way. Proper down, status of the clock, penalty calls in their administration, forward progress not relating to a first down or goal line, force outs on pass plays near a sideline, field goals not reviewable, and again, recovery of a loose ball in the field of play. And I guess, you know, somebody's out there going, well, why?
Yeah, and I'm sure much of the argument centers around the fact that these are calls that have to be made almost by judgment at full speed, that watching an instant replay in slow motion doesn't give you the same impression of what actually happened.
And also, you know, the human eye and human ear as well for an official out in the field of play, in live fire out there, that the official is making a call at that time. You know, maybe, you know, didn't have the eyes or was calling something else. So, I mean, there are different interpretations, I suppose. But, you know, Charlie Taff sitting there going, I don't care about the rule book right now.
Yeah.
You're resting a minute and a half. Let's go.
Coburn again, head down, plowing forward. What a night for the guy they call AVC. Well, here's our game story tonight, brought to you by MGD. Nothing to hide.
Anthony Calvillo, the big story, moves up to #2 all-time in CFL passing yards and doing it in fine fashion. A terrific performance here by AC. You've got to love the work as well of Kerry Watkins. The Owls came into this one missing 2 of their top 3 receivers, Ben Cahoon and Elijah Thurman. Kerry Watkins, the third member of that trio, really stepped up and filled the void here.
Banks getting some playing time. Pulls it back again. And on the sideline, Derevo again. So big picture time now for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. 1 of 18, only 1 of 18. They've been down this road before, but you know, you've got a fan base that probably is growing a little weary of this, of the losing that has come in Hamilton. They are showing signs of progress, obviously making changes, Bob Obilovich being here. But how do they get to that next step?
Well, it is a process, and this is one of the things that's difficult in today's CFL with the salary cap. It used to be in this league that you could rebuild in one offseason if you were willing to spend the money on free agents. With the salary cap, you can't do that. You have to rely on scouting, player recruitment, and player development. And this is where Bob Obilovich is huge. You know, he's going to be scouring those NFL camps to continue to try and upgrade the talent that's here, but also those experienced coordinators who are here now. Denny Crehan on defense, Marcel Belfay on offense, and the coaching staff who are going to be relied on to help these young players develop and improve as this season goes on, because that's the only way that this team is going to take the next step. It's not going to be an overnight thing, and that's what the fans of Hamilton need to understand.
They've had a lot of facelifts here and changes through the years, coaches, general managers. Owner Bob Young has sunk a lot of money and time and passion into the team. There was so much promise heading into an opening night. How do you get over this point? Again, I mean, obviously a win followed up next week would do that. And I guess the biggest thing, get more reps for Casey Printers. Would that help too?
Yeah, for Casey Printers to become more comfortable, and for his receivers as well to become more comfortable. Once again, several rookies in that receiving corps. Receivers and defensive backs are the guys who have the toughest time learning the CFL game, because it's for those guys for whom it is most different to play in this league than to play south of the border. And so over time, they're going to develop.
Trey Smith back again. The ball eating up the clock. Down to 3 seconds. Try to angle one here, and he does. And only 40 seconds left in game 1 of the CFL season for 2008, and our first TSN turning point.
Well, all night there's been this connection between Anthony Calvillo and his go-to guy, Kerry Watkins. This game turned after Hamilton showed flashes of coming back when Kerry Watkins scored his second touchdown of the game. A go route, Lawrence Gordon the corner trips. Watkins has an easy 6.
TSN Turning Point brought to you by the 2008 GMC Sierra. Professional grade. Williams. And that slingshot toss that he has. 3-quarter action. But, you know, there is promise. And, you know, we were here yesterday and we, you know, had a chance to chat with a lot of the players, and talking with the players last year, you did not get a sense of the optimism. You got a sense of sometimes the dread. That's what happens when you lose a lot. You're not going to play any longer in the postseason. You know, their hope is lost. You had a sense that there was this renewed hope here, and I still think it exists here.
Yeah, no question about that. They brought in a lot of people who come from winning programs, and that's helping to turn the attitude within the dressing room, which is big.
So Mark Trestman, that's his first Gatorade shower, his first win as a CFL head coach.
Procedure, Hamilton 67. Montreal has declined the yardage. Time.
And I know it's probably a little cool, but that must feel awfully good, particularly when, you know, you've had to face some questions about, and probably maybe even some self-doubt about this game, because it is a lot different than the NFL. Williams takes off and gets the first down.
Yeah, I think for Mark Trestman, when so many other people question you, I guess as the saying goes, if enough people tell you you're a horse, you might start checking for a tail. Mark Trestman, no doubt, questioning himself a little bit when other people start to question him. Very important for him to get win number 1 in week number 1 and get that monkey off his back and answer some of those questions.
And although he did say, you know what, it's only one game, talk to us at the end of the season, because the goal for any team is to get to the playoffs and win the big one. Williams gets sacked. Only a few ticks left on the clock. What a start to the season for the Montreal Alouettes. Anthony Calvillo, Avon Coburn, Kerry Watkins, the Montreal defense.
Yeah, I think the thing that's so impressive about this win for Montreal, aside from Trestman's debut, the quality play calling, the execution of that game plan, is the depth that we've seen when you consider the injuries. Avon Coburn in there at running back.
And they're only going to get better. That's it. That's all. The Montreal Alouettes open the 2008 season on the road in Hamilton. A big win, 33-10 over the Tiger Cats.